This is my album art. I don't know if I shared this before or not, but I'm going to, and I'm going to kind of be quick about it. This is the Could Have It All ragtop, and this is a photograph that I was talking about. I had to do a lot of cloning, and it turned out like it did. But that's what the album title is, and that's the front cover. I even did details with this one, more on the side. I don't know if you can actually see it. See that? Just Could Have It All there, and then my name. I did that on both sides. And that is the back. All the titles. The photos, they were by D.W. Steinbarger, photography, Susie Jett, and moi. That there is the crochet that Michael got for me when I went to see an Elvis musical type thing downtown. I forget what the name of the theater is here in Dayton. Isn't that nice? That's the first one I ever received. So I wanted to take that photograph and put it on my album art. And this was taken by a person in the cross-dressing community who was really passionate about photography. And she took that of me back in 2013. This is the inside. That's what the CD looks like, obviously. I designed this all the way back in, I think it was 2011 or 2010. I did some touch-ups. I put the website on, of course, and then the name was kind of confusion for me. I didn't really have a name for the album, so I always say that if I did things on a much greater scale, so to speak, rather than home demos, whether or not I would do anything any different. There are some things that I might do, which might even include the titles or not putting on the website address, etc. This was recorded at VCAT Productions here in Dayton, Ohio. So when I say VCAT, I'm referring to VCAT Productions. I was going to do entertainment like that, and then I got more into the recording process. And on the other side, this was a little thing that I made also back in 2011, 2010, keeping Jesus the center of dreams. I was really big into dreams at the time, meaning kind of like using your imagination and reflecting on different things as you see yourself, things that you would like to be a part of or things you would like to do. What would life be like? I have the details and the titles of the songs are up top. I like this idea. I used to have a license plate, and because I'm working with a budget, I wanted to make sure that I could cut back my expenses wherever I felt that I could, so I could utilize it so I could get better equipment or the longevity of the project that I'm working on without having an income of any kind outside of the assistance that I get. I wanted that license plate to somehow be a part of this project. I love the license plate, and in my personal opinion, a personalized license plate, it was my first one, makes a huge difference in your life. When you're walking towards your vehicle or just knowing it, I've realized that with your own inner thoughts, you kind of want to witness them in physical form, and you want to expand on those thoughts, and you want to specially tailored life circumstances for you, is what I've come to the realization of. So when you lift up the CD, ta-da! 50s girl. That's something that's been with me my whole life. And believe it or not, my mother and my uncle, their home, which was my grandmother's place, was a huge inspiration for me visualizing thoughts and an idea of the spirit within that decade. I slide this out. Inside is a poster of moi, me. I think this was either my first, second, or third music video that I ever did like that. So I was obviously very nervous. I never did anything like that. And I ended up doing it at a beautiful park over in Yellow Springs. I wasn't quite there yet psychologically to do anything more than I did on the video, and I watch it sometimes and I kind of chuckle, you know. I was very distant yet from learning more of all the things that I ended up learning when it comes to singing and other things to do with recording, like using MIDI files and stuff like that. I'm going to put this away. I'm going to get another one that I'm going to show, my 4th album. I wanted to show this really quick. You see this little car? I don't want to touch it too much because my fingers might have a little bit of moist on it. Do you see the car? And that's the same car as in this CD. Check this out. That's the same car right there. That's my baby. I really like that car a lot. So I'm going to put this one away and I'm going to get the other one and I'll show you that really quick. I got another one that I'm going to show you. It's my album 4. A really unique story with this album cover is the person who had done the art, done it for me back in 2010. When I saw it, I knew instantly that she was extremely gifted. I've seen people who drew, and I did see artists like on TV, or you go to art galleries and stuff. In my life, there's a few people that are very, very talented at art that I know are my family, if you will. But when I seen it, I realized that she gave it to me as a gift, and I was surprised. She drew it while I was in my bedroom and she was in her bedroom in a very brief amount of time. And she said she wanted to give it to me. I'll share more about that another time. I'm going to wait for that. For anybody that would see this video or myself, you see this video, keep that in mind that I would like to share more details about that day specifically, maybe over the holidays or in the beginning of next year, because there's going to be some other things going on and I don't like to talk too much about certain things, too soon especially. So she drew this, and she told me that I should use it as album art or poster t-shirts or something. Back then, without going into any more details, I was thinking to myself, I am so distant from wanting to do anything like that specifically. And notice, in time, as we come closer to today, I embrace those words even more and more and more and more and more because I made a decision for it to be my 4th album cover and my promo CD label, because our time together that day and for the brief amount of time that we were in relationship is extremely valuable to me, and I often look to those moments that we had a few together with, and I cherish them. I just seen her a couple weeks ago. If she does come across this video, she is doing very good. I'm thinking of her and I hope to see her again, if not this summer, as fall comes on. This is my 4th album art that was done, and I will give more details by someone very, 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 very special in my life. Isn't that gorgeous? I would love to have a t-shirt made and a poster. I like this a lot. This is what's on the back. Check it out. Ta-da! The magical bride. There's Tracilyn playing with underwear, panties. That's in my schoolgirl outfit. There's a list of the songs. Do you see them? My name and the name of the album. Produced and engineered by Tracilyn Michael. And the side of this, isn't that rad? It's really cool, isn't it? I did it on the other side too. I had made up like 20, 30 different album titles, and I was trying to come up with this at the last second. I wanted something that associated with the time of the songs that were written or the season of time. That a lot of things occurred with me back in 2010-ish, and that's what I ended up coming up with. Check out the inside as we open it. Ta-da! Check it out. It's also my CD label. And much like my promo CD, you see that? As for 2018, that's a combination, the 2018-ish, as a combination of Playfully Purple and Dayton, Ohio, USA. This one is going to be a combination of the 3 albums. It's actually 2.5 albums. And I'm going to use this label for the promo CD. And what I do for my promo CDs is with years for now. I might eventually change, and the reason is just for my own psychological, that I acknowledge that these were songs put together at this season of time. So my promo CDs, I'm going by the year. Then my album, for now, I'm going to go this way. Look at the color. I really like that color a lot. I think it goes good with the album overall. One thing that I was extremely happy about is I finally got to use one of my poems this time around. I would much rather do something very, very, very special a few times than to go do things many times knowing I'm unfulfilled. That's very important to me, is what I realized. I want to do something that I perceive as very, very special. I don't want to just do things. I was thinking that I would love, and I still would love, to attend. I don't know about doing it. I would love to attend very passionate readings of people's writings. Right beside Nashville's Songwriter Nights Out. I forget what they call it, the circle, the ring. I really like that a lot. When you get to hear people speak a little bit, and they sing their songs, and they laugh and stuff, I think that's a very enjoyable environment to attend. And for some reason, whatever's inside of us, for me, it kind of has a little bit more of a sophistication that is present with you than if you're going to other types of open mic nights. I like them all, but it seems like there's a little bit more sophistication once you start getting involved to listening to songs that people wrote versus songs that people love and they play at open mic nights. So I wanted to go and see what that was like. I seen a couple posted online. I thought like going to a college or something that would be really fun. A different kind of atmosphere was very important to me. Instead of going to a bar room, you can go to a different kind of public atmosphere where there might not be so much intoxication and hear other people's writings, It looks like it would be a very good time. I would love to do that sometime, even still, just as a listener. I'm going to give it a try sometime, maybe in my studio in the future, if I ever have time. So here we go. This picture right here was taken at the Biltmore Hotel, and it was taken by my friend at the time, Michael. That little black book, I still have. Check this out. I still have it. The black cover is gone, but I have writings in here. And some of them I wrote when I was over at Las Vegas in 2012. Even though the writings that are on it might not appear to be too valuable, that book is. This poem is called Waiting the Last Day. I wrote it in 2010. One thing that I would recommend, I look back at, especially in 2010, when I wrote my songs, I think putting as much information as you desire along with the song is something wonderful to look back on, especially if you record it several years later. Like when I recorded some of these songs, it's probably approximately at least 9 years later. I have on here, it was written on Monday, February 8th, 2010. While I'm putting all this together, I'll go back on the calendar and I'll actually look at the calendar on the Windows. I have Windows 7 right now. And what I'll do is I'll get my the calendar like this. I'll open this up down here, okay? And then what I'll do is I'll go to the year, right here, 2010, and then we'll go to February, and here we will go on the 8th. It was written on Monday. So I'll look at that for a while and let that kind of soak in, and it helps me feel a little bit more connected to myself during that time. Sometimes I'll go on to the weather and on Google, and I think that's really cool. And though I'm not sure I found one to a fuller potential, I think there's a lot of potential there to have in a manner that you can look back on the day's weather report And you can see, was it sunny? Was it raining? Did we get any snow? And that'll help me feel connected when I sit down to record my songs. I might even watch some videos. If it was snowing, I might actually see some videos and I'll see it snowing. So I try to connect myself with that day as though it is, as much of that day is present with me in the studio. It's very intimate when doing that. It doesn't happen so gracefully like that. It happens fast, okay? Sometimes, because you're trying to accomplish what you're trying to accomplish within a time frame. I do. I try to accomplish everything within a time frame. So, because I have a lot that I want to accomplish in life, period. And I realize that more now and every day, that the brain, in my opinion, the body, I don't know, but my body doesn't feel like it could ever keep up with the brain. A lot going on up there, but I feel at peace that I'm in tune with where my dominant desire is to be in the moment. That is really awesome, to be able to check out the time, see the date, the calendar, to actually see it. And I have the computer. Since I came out here to Ohio, sometimes I'll turn it on and look at that, or I'll look through it. That kind of takes you to a season of time. I'm sure lots of people may think like that. You know, you have the different laptop computers or different computers that you fire up, or something that you have, a toy or something from that season of time. And it is very beneficial. For me, it was. I don't know about other people. It might not be beneficial. It might be very painful psychologically to see these things. Understand that I know this. When we talk sometimes, we may talk in a manner that says it's a wonderful thing to do, but then when somebody else does it, it might actually hurt them. Because it hurts me too sometimes when I do this. Like, I'll cry gathering up my photographs or seeing videos or any kind of recordings that I have, or emotional existences. I'm filled with all kinds of emotions when I go back in time and look at things that have to do with what I'm currently working on, if you will. This is my poem. Feeling lousy and discontent was never the original intent. Blood showered upon a sinner was a gamble for loser, not winner. Awaiting the last day, no more need to pray. Feel the energy of hate release heart's desired fate. Rotting. Awaiting the last day. Covered bones with skin, can't breathe, can't sin. Hard to feel affection through the righteousness of rejection. Footsteps trample upon a poor example. Words that kill eventually will. Yes, slowly rotting, awaiting the last day. Written by Tracilyn Michael. And I hope that when the time is right, and I do something, it'll be done with a little bit more passion than not. That was just off the top of my head. So I'm going to open it up. I'm kind of sweating here a little bit. Now that's from the light. And, you know, I got the hot light right here. Check it out. Okay, here we go. I collected photographs since 2009-ish. Maybe as early as 2008 or 2007. But I grabbed some of the photos, my more favorite ones, and looking back on the albums that I used to listen to, whether they be in cassette, mainly, dominantly in my teenage years, and of course into CDs. I was not too much of a CD collector, though I did have a few. I was more into cassettes. I like many different things, so I had a lot of variety, so to speak. And I tried to keep my Playfully Purple in writings with the lyrics. I realized that that's very, very valuable. It connected me back to times when I was a teenager and I used to read other people's lyrics. My exact words would be, I hope someday I can write a really cool song like this, you know? I wanted to be able to achieve that, you know? To know that I have as many songs as I do right now, I'm very grateful. I have lots and lots of songs that are way better than that. than the ones I used to listen to. To me, it is. Because, you know, they came through me, you know? As some people would say, they're my babies. I collected them together, and another thing that I really liked is not just with the lyrics. I wanted to do different things for each album. I wanted different. I did not accomplish yet what I was hoping for. maybe someday, because of the time frame and not having the ability to invest more time in going to talk to people about putting together a CD template. I put something together myself that I felt was pretty simple for where I was in trying to rush this along a little bit. I would go to the Goodwill thrift stores and I would root through all their CDs and stuff, and I would find some of the ones that I might use as like a model for me to come home and put together something myself. Here we go, check it out. I might have showed this in the other video. I have different pictures. This one here is from Huber Heights. My Ohio daddy took this one. Maybe that one too. Jaywin was taking some pictures of me. She might have taken that one. Ta-da-dee. That's it. This is when I was down in Indiana. There was an RV place that was just across the Ohio line. This is when I was trying to get inside my mind a little bit, and I was unfamiliar with RVs because I was not really connected to anybody who had one. I've been in campers before. I stayed in campers, but I've never been inside a tour bus except for my grandfather / uncle's gospel quartet, the ones that they had, but I was never inside like more modern current tour buses or RVs. I've always wanted to go to like an expo center and see like really cool RVs and tour buses. Just have the opportunity to be close to them or get the opportunity to see some of the inside of them and to see the different features and ways of living inside of one for whatever amount of time. I personally do not want to live in one on a day-to-day basis. If I were touring and stuff like that, I personally don't want to talk about that right now, how I prefer to do it. The truth of the matter is, I do not want to be one of those people that live solely in an RV. I need a home. I'm really pretty much interested in doing something unique and set apart from the way that everybody else goes about it, because I'm not into partying. I don't like to drink on a regular basis. I drink lots of water, and I love to juice, and might have a Diet Pepsi once in a while, but I'm not really into the alcohol thing, and I'm not really into just hanging out and partying. I like to go about life a different way, then I prefer to stick with it. I don't necessarily want to just live in a tour vehicle. I'd rather keep the wheels rolling and do fun things that I'm looking forward to doing, whether that be promotions or readying up to play the shows, rehearsal, talking about other things, seeing other people that have to do with serious matters, if you will. So there's lots of different ways of going about a lot of different things. Back to the album art. There was like a Tom something RV place that was over in Indiana, and I got to see these RVs, and they were very kind to me. This one that I had the picture in had mirrors, and I love when I come across mirrors that I can actually see myself in its entirety, especially. But a lot of times you got to kind of duck down because I am over 6'1", and the truth of the matter is, when your mirror is down here and you got to kind of squat down here, it's just I don't like that. I like when a mirror is a little bit taller than what I am. And plus, when you put on boots or something like that, you got like an inch or 2 inch of heels. So what does that put me at? That puts me at like 6'3", 6'4", sometimes more. There's my first Fast and the Furious car. Long story short, that's my first newer car. It's a 2004 LS Sport Coupe Cavalier, and I traveled around the entire country down to Mexico too with it, at least on the country line. This is one that I took when I was escorting. This is over here at Right Beef Flyer. There's me in the schoolgirl outfit. Another schoolgirl outfit. And I really like this. It's kind of more like V-Caddy, kind of like femme, but not girly enough like some of the other stuff. But I really love the picture. I took it downtown at the Oregon District. I think it's the Oregon Express. And I really love that picture, so I put that on as well. And this is from the I Know video, which is one of my favorite videos. I like that. So the I Know recording actually turned out spectacular. There's a lot of special things that I would like to do with individual songs. And I know living in the world that we live in, those kinds of requests or those kinds of suggestions aren't so appreciated for many reasons. It's Christmas here in the studio. Every day the light switch is on, or the power button is on. As the first line to my Christmas song, somebody gonna steal it? Yeah. It's Christmas in my studio. Every time the power switch is on, goes from off to on. Do you get it? I happen to be in the greatest songwriter in the world, my dear. And you would be nothing without me. Say it. And now, last, and I hope it's not the last, 4.5. This is sort of like my little pride and joy. Long story short, I had my struggles with recording my whole life. When I was getting closer to doing live acoustic shows, I ended up renting a storage unit, and on a 4-track, 8-track, I had made what I perceived as a demo. I figured all my recordings, until I saw an impressive recording studio of some sort, meaning even in my own life, that they're just demos. But I did the best that I could, and it just seemed much different than the way they turn out now. I remember feeling that if I can't have real recordings, then I'm not going to have much of a career in music. I was, believe it or not, the person that wanted and encouraged all the bands I was in that we should write at least one, if not 2 songs that we can use to promote whatever it is that we do, even in school, whatever. It never really got to that point. It never did. I ended up doing a lot of things alone. Thank goodness for my brother. He showed me a lot. He left me use a lot of his resources. In my opinion, I didn't believe in buying resources unless it was proven to me that I would truly make use of those resources. May seem jackass backwards, but that's the way I felt. For many reasons, I don't want to go into the details. If I'm not really going to be doing something, I don't want to buy stuff to just sit around the apartment or the house or whatever it is I live in at the time, my bedroom. It used to drive me nuts to be in my bedroom and see a guitar that's not being played, okay? But when I play it, I genuinely felt that I have to figure out other matters. And though I did it a lot and I played, I felt a lot of times that if I don't take care of other matters in some way, I don't want to say exactly some of the things I used to think. But this makes me wonder, after going through what I'm going through, what was really going on in my head might have been a torment from people who have technology. Okay, so I don't want to stress on that too much, but as I go through life, I have endured it, and I got to the point of making a demo, and I've done a lot of paid, some of them very well, live performances. And I also came into acknowledgement. I didn't like to talk to people about a lot of the stuff I was learning, but I did realize, and sharing my life story, I pretty much shared a lot of it, but I realized what could be done. When it came to lifting up a log, you pick up that side, I'll pick up this side. In my opinion, in this world, for me, it doesn't exist. And because of that, I praise be to God that I acknowledge it and I don't go get my face dirty. Do you know what I'm saying? Think about that. This time I'm not going to give you the answer of what that means. So I did as much as I could by myself. I'm proud of myself. I had a lot of help by others in different ways, and I didn't really... When I'm talking about what I'm talking about, it's missing sometimes all the people who were a large part of helping me to do the things I did. For instance, every venue owner that gave me an opportunity to play at their venue at least once. For everybody that's ever booked me for a private party or a corporate party, celebration, if you will. Somebody very special that I'm very grateful. I would like to, in my wrap-up of my testimony, it's not going to be for a while yet. I'm making phone calls now, and I would like to make a wrap-up video. Before I do Miss Las Vegas, I hope that I can go back in time and thank the people that I thank. I used to have a thank you on my website, and it had a long, long list of people that I gave credit for helping me. So I had a lot of help in a lot of areas, but when it came to a lot of the serious matters like band or writing, recording, productions, promotions, major tour support, etc., etc., I realized that a lot of those people, what people would say in a music business, are a lot of down talkers. And I can handle being down talked because I was down talked a lot through my life. When I was like in elementary school and stuff like that, I got bullied a lot. I can handle a lot. However, at times in my life, I do not like to be down talked. And all of those years of being down talked for different reasons kind of all pile up together as one fist coming towards somebody's face. And I felt that way for a long time. And it's not because I'm talented like other people. I realize that there's something with me in my life journey that evidently is for me from time to time. Not just evil powers, but of good. I finally got to work with somebody, and long story short, they were serious recordings. We never finished an entire album, and I was finally heading towards having my own home and my own home studio. I didn't move fast. It was psychological. Slowly I'm heading towards that. With that being said, I gotta say that it was kind of tormenting me a little bit because what I perceived as a necessity was not happening, especially quick enough, and I was growing tired of doing the outreach to people. I got sick of people lying to me. I got sick of a lot of things that I don't want to talk about right now, because we're talking about the recordings here at Tracilyn via Productions in Dayton, Ohio for now, which I was hoping would have been Lebanon, Pennsylvania way back before all of this stuff happened. So I had a problem. This one has 11 songs. This one has 17 songs. That photograph was taken during a time that I'm pretty much certain that a female cop in Dayton, Ohio was suggesting that I was a pedophile because I was modeling by the river. I do the best I can while I'm getting my ass kicked still to this day. When people suggest something like that in your presence, you could only think, if you personally, lady who just said that, would go through the things I went through, would you have the courtesy to refrain from saying that to somebody that was trying to enjoy their life? See, I go down to the river. What I think about? Ta-da! I think of going down to the river in my swimsuit and catching some sun rays off the reflection of the river water. You might not necessarily get it in a spiritual or a psychological manner, but some people have written amazing country songs about being by the waterway, and there's a huge difference from being able to put on a swimsuit, especially after enduring the fact that you don't have a body part like other people have a body part that wear bikini swimsuits. You go to the river and you relax, and you let Mother Nature, or whatever it is, do its thing for you as the sun's rays reflect off the water that is flowing, and it's relaxing the sounds of the river. I used to think to myself, I'm surprised nobody made a nice designated area along a river somewhere in the Dayton, Ohio or Ohio area that a person could go and enjoy themselves safely and relax and get some sun. Listen to your music. Listen to the birds chirping. okay? The sound of others a greater distant from you. If you're not living in other people's bland idea of life, then all of a sudden you are all these other insulting words if a person is not psychologically guarded. I begged at the mercy of God before my transition started to occur that I may not be any less of a human being than God's best for me. And as I started to take steps that are very serious to me, I started to realize the other humans ain't coming along with this choice. This one has 10. This is not the JPEG card. Or for the MP3s. This one has 13. And this one, and you know how hard this was for me to do this? Because my heart said, I know what it's like to have an EP for a very long time, for my whole entire music career that I had. And it simply was because I couldn't connect with anybody that was as kind as the person I was working with musically in the beginning, but the longevity of it was not realistic for somebody who's driven to do much greater than playing the local bar rooms. I knew it could be done. So when somebody says, do you believe in yourself? It's not about believing in myself. I understood. It can be done. But it's not going to be done when people say they're do something and don't honor it. And God showed me my problem was not me. But I was running into a lot of other problems, and one of those major problems was dishonor from other people who said they would do something and didn't follow through with it. So I didn't want to do any more EPs. Obviously, when I went to Nashville and went to New York, I had another EP. And that to me is like something is trying to insult me pretty brutally, and it's starting to frustrate me. I want a goddamn album in this lifetime. 1, 2, 3. And this one is, I was going to call it Pancake Batter. It's remakes. And I thought I was absolutely crazy for doing it. But because my strength was there and my endurance felt, I double-checked everything. I can still go on the treadmill. Because believe it or not, I will check myself once in a while. Can I still be active? Because it's a lot of falling over on the desk when doing this. A lot of this at the desk. Some of the recordings turned out absolutely remarkable. So this was very difficult for me, but one thing I've learned when recording some of the songs, and it's difficult when you really love your music, and then something happens in the studio. Is it the music turns off by accident, or you accidentally turn on the loop and it starts looping and it gets stuck? There's all kinds of things that happen in the studio. Is that how you wake up when you're falling asleep from working on it? And a new idea will come like that. It's almost like it's a gift from something very, 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 very far away. An alternative ending in the songs. So, what I did is Valley Child 4.5. And I used one of my favorite pictures from that season of time that I was going to wait to miss Las Vegas by the fireplace. I was going to call it alternative endings, but there is like 1 or 2 different songs that are different versions of songs recorded on the 3rd album, if you would. This was kind of like the mother. Ragtop Could Have It All was kind of like the mother, and then this is kind of like not identical twins. This was with the different alternative endings and stuff. I called it 4.5 because this is my 4th album, but I wanted Miss Las Vegas to be 5. So I don't want to make it number 6. I want to keep it number 5. I find a way to go in between. It's however many songs I can endure because I'm getting tired and I want to quit working on the music this time around by the time summer comes, because 3 summers have come and gone, 2019, 20, 21. I got to do a little bit in the summer and around the holidays because I like to go see musicals, or I like to go see Christmas lights. I like to do different things in the summer. It's a lot of times going to the river or a lake or going bike riding as fall comes on. I wanted to go trick-or-treating like the last 2 years or so. Obviously, we're all going through something, so I didn't get to do that yet. With all my knowledge that I have today, it's more of just trying to make right some things in my life, and that's how I came up with 4.5. There's 5 songs on there. I realized I did a lot of remakes and alternatives combined together, and that might not necessarily be the best of ideas, but the songs are incredible to listen to. I really love them, and what's really weird is the album is done. I didn't want to make it less than an album of songs because I had that EP situation that happened in my music career and then up in New York, and I was EP'd out. I think I'm getting closer someday. I might be okay, here's my EP, but I wanted an album. And when you have songs like I have songs, you want to hear them and you realize albums, several of them. In 2010, 11, and 12, 13, I had a lot of playing time, so I rearranged the songs, and I thought, well, this one would sound great fast, and then this one would sound good slow as well as fast. Or this one would sound good this way, and I'm playing around with them, but nothing's actually getting done with the actual recording. And I'm glad in a way because I was not ready to record. Some of my recordings now really turned out fabulous. With that being said, I'm going to get out the album art right now. I was a little bit okay with it, and I think this had a lot to do with it. Because that's my DVD, and I kind of keep them in my purse once in a while, and it depends who I meet. Occasionally, I may give them a DVD. I never heard anything back from anybody, but who knows? Maybe someday. Maybe somebody doesn't want me to hear back. Ta-da! Look at that. See how it slides out? Kind of slide it in here. And that's the label. Tracilyn, Valley Child 4.5. Produced by Tracilyn Michael. Recorded at VCAP Production Studios in Dayton, Ohio, US of A. And there's Star. And then, there we go. That's the back. And this is the first time I ever printed on matte paper, and I think it really had a nice finish for this particular. I don't know how well it holds up, and I just let everything sit out. I probably should have it in a glass case or something. I let everything sit out because I want to be able to touch it whenever I want to feel the album art and to open it up and see the CDs and know that I have something real in my hands. It has to do with my music. And these are the titles on it. I give them unique titles. So this is Hugs and Kisses version 2 alternative, Heartbreaker. That has something to do with the ending of it. And then She Stands for Freedom. This is the slow version. It was very difficult for me to do. I got a lot of craters in my fingers. Maybe the next time I record, eventually I'll show you what happens to me. But it's a lot of holding on the G chord. And for me, it's the key of F because I tune down about a whole step. But I get big valleys or craters in my 2 fingers here. If you look close, there's kind of like a permanent scarring that has occurred over the years from playing, and you can see, like, if they were trying to fingerprint me, it might be a little different than the day I was born, do you think? So maybe my identity would be a little bit different and come up, and they wouldn't be able to match it with my fingerprints because I play guitar, Did you ever think like that? Put your fingerprints here. So anyway, just joking around. And the Sender, I did a fast version of it, and Could Have It All. I did a piano version of it. And some of that may be heard, and some of it may not be heard in the future, because I'm going to do things different this time. I've been wanting to do different things with my website and keep it focused more on my photographs, and my music videos and the song download for now, because that is what I dominantly do. I probably will not have too much content of other things right now, but that's what I'm planning on doing. But instead of giving the entire album as a free download, I will make small alterations even with what I have up, and then I will probably have a few songs off each album, maybe like this Valley Child, I'll have one or so. I will use it for music videos or promoting on my website. So that's pretty much it. That's where I have been. Now to wrap things up in this conversation, let me put this away. I'm going to get my last glass of champagne. Here we go. Ta-da! See, I'm not playing venues and selling alcohol no more. So, just so you know, I don't always drink to celebrate. I wanted to pick something different for each album, and because I'm hoping someday that I'll be able to do my Miss Las Vegas album as I enter into my 50s. That should be within the next year and a half that I at least get started on that endeavor. I know that I'm going to want to drink White Zinfandel. If I can just have one glass would be good enough for me to drink, not necessarily when I'm singing. I am here in my studio, and do you want to know something? I can't believe that I saw a really cool car on YouTube today, and it is more difficult for me to see another life form and acknowledge, oh thank God, somebody else other than myself. I see is gorgeous, good looking, attractive, beautiful, magnificent. I am convinced when you acknowledge what you love is you. It's challenging to see anything else. Just like with my dog Riggs. I'm convinced I fell so deep into love with my dog Riggs, who was a boxer. He had a black mask and brindle stripes. And he had the most unique personality. He was the friendliest dog in the world. And he had a lean, muscle-defined body that I used to love to hug and kiss and bathe. I started to realize at some point, way even before I transitioned, that when I look around at other dogs, I don't mean to be mean. I'm just not as attracted to them as Riggs. I used to look at Riggs and I reflect back now and I remember. I don't know what's going on with the other dogs, but my dog is way more attractive to me. I'm glad that I have Riggs and he's good looking. I'm glad he's healthy. I'm glad that he has muscle, and I couldn't see walking around a dog with a collar on a larger percentage of the time than it is to snap the leash from his collar and see him run like a bolt of lightning with a smile on his face. God left me know during those times, it is good to see him be free and safe.